Nearly. Good job, I've got good balance. Right. Um, do we need? Um, Good evening. Or shall I say it? Good afternoon. Well, good morning, depending on where you are. Anyway, I've washed all the tent. I've been doing loads of gardening, swimming. Now I've just come in for a sit down. Ooh, sit down or a fall down. Nearly fell down the stairs. Um, well, it's hot in here tonight. Still pretty hot out there, guys. In fact, the temperature, I'll be picking 1 second. The temperature is 21 Celsius still. But you can always add on a couple more. Because of the humidity out in the countryside. Anyway, I've got to sit down and just get my breath back. Got some new bushes to plant as well. My neighbour, he's just said about... I locked myself out of my house earlier and I had to climb over the fence. He's on about trimming... There's a bit of my willow tree that's going over his shed a bit. He asked me if it was alright if he cut it back. I said, yeah, of course. But now I've been thinking about it, I might do it for him. Obviously, I'm a lot more fitter and younger than him. Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, I think. Which will be quite easy. Anyway, I hope everybody's had a good day. And you've all had some good weather. Got some severe thunderstorms on the way, I believe, later on. Or my phone keeps flashing across warnings about it. Who knows, eh? It's definitely muggy out there. What's the time anyway? 1937. Oh, I needed that. Got this other one down here that boost. I don't know what this one's like. Red berry. That's not bad. Anyway, feels like a Saturday. Obviously, it's Sunday, isn't it? It feels like a Saturday. Um, Probably because I'm only just getting sort of last night today, sort of got my brain back in order. Uh, I think I might just keep busy every day, keep busy with the house, garden. I think keeping occupied, having a good workout actually helps me. What I have noticed as well is I'm springing lots more muscles now. Um, Obviously, you get to a certain age, your muscles stop going crazy. But obviously, because I'm on, well, you can call it performance enhancing drugs because that's what it is, amphetamine. I suppose that gives me the edge. Do you know what I mean? Um, Saying that, I've never been unfit. Um, anyway, I've got to find my grinder because this weed's a bit. Oh, that's a bit better. In fact, I've only had about half a joint today. Um, anyway, like my t-shirt. Get another one next week. Gonna get a green specials one. What I need is a bit of paper or something. I've got to have a look at that universal credit shit as well. Um, in fact, I might just ring them up tomorrow and just run it by them. I'm not going to be paid monthly. Do you know what I mean? It's bad enough having it fortnightly. Well, to be honest, I get paid 3 weeks out of the 4 in a month. There's 1 week I don't get any. And I really struggle on the week I don't get any money. So obviously, if they put it onto universal credit and they just give it to me once a month, I'll only be getting paid twice a month. I don't think the PIP goes in with that universal credit. It's completely separate. Um, but I ain't having it monthly. And they don't believe me when I say, oh, it's a trait of ADHD. Is it really? Can you get any evidence of that? Oh, yeah, I can. And I did last time. But it just pisses me off having to do it. I might tell them, you go and get the evidence. I know where I'm at. Do you know what I mean? Why should I have to prove my ADHD and autism to people when I don't have to, really? Do you know what I mean? But as soon as they see my specialist report, they all just go quiet. The good thing is during lockdown and all that, COVID, that's when I had all my assessments. Um, and it's the top one in the country, ADHD specialist. Um, Crazy. Yeah, you talk to them big wigs at the DWP that think they know it, and really they don't know anything. I don't know exactly what the DWP medical officer's qualified in, but it's not neurological brain fucking disorders, that's for sure. He's probably qualified in a bad back and having a cough. Do you know what I mean? There's different people on benefits for different reasons. Uh, Crazy, eh? I think there's a lot of people on there blagging it as well. Just making out they can't do stuff, and really they can. But crazy, eh? And pity them people that pretend. Pity they get, you know what I mean? Let's hope they never get struck down by a real fucking illness or disorder. Um, To be honest, the PIP ain't about what illness you got, what this, you know what I mean, what letters you got or whatever. It's about how the actual disability, illness affects you in your day-to-day life. Um, Crazy. I suppose it does help that I've been diagnosed. I've got so to be honest, when you get like diagnosed, you have to go before what's called the Oaks panel, which is two doctors and a medical person that sit there and assess whether you're deemed needing it or not. And you can only actually get a proper assessment and a proper diagnosis if you can actually prove that ADHD has interfered with your life all your life. It was quite easy for me to do that. Um, Obviously, being a young offender at 17, I wasn't a child offender, guys. I never did anything like that. But I was a young offender driving on a ban. That's all I've done wrong. Um, yeah. See, the thing is with an ADHD girl or boy, um, it can go either way. Um, the naughty girl or boy's brain will always go down the naughty road because that's where the dopamine is, the chemicals. Um, it's like an ADHD brain. A kid will get a slap round the arse, don't do it again, lad. You know what I mean? And he'll do it again. But the kid without ADHD, he gets slapped round the arse and he won't do it again. But the kid with the ADHD, you get a buzz out of that. Which I never even, you know what I mean? I never knew anything, guys, about ADHD. It's only when my doctor said, you better go and... Well, to be honest, as soon as I knew I had it, I thought, I'd best get educated in it. So that's what I've done. To be honest, I probably know, well, I do. I know just as much as I probably know more than my specialist because he ain't got it. I've got it. I'm just lucky that I haven't got any learning difficulties. Um, but sometimes I think, am I better off with being low functioning instead of high functioning? Then I wouldn't, maybe I wouldn't understand all the red tape and bullshit. But where I'm sort of get it all, I sort of, it does me nothing. But to be honest, I'm just standing up for the people that ain't got a loud voice. You know what I mean? That's what I did when I was a carer for 20 years. Did a lot of things for carers' rights and stuff. Um, Crazy. And I'm still seeing people on here on their podcast. Oh, ADHD, that ain't real. Blah blah blah. Cracks me up. They need to get educated. Them people that think it ain't, think like it's not real. Um, yeah. To be honest, it's only been a proper thing with in England, United Kingdom, Australia, and America are proper clued up on it as well. But since 2008, I believe it's been a proper thing here. And when I did my ADHD test, I just maxed it right out. I couldn't have scored anymore. In fact, my actual assessment, my doctor turned around within 6 minutes of us chatting, and he said, "I can definitely tell you're hyperactive, Phil." Obviously, I'm talking, I'm moving around. Most people are just sitting there talking to the specialist on the Zoom call. Well, I'm moving about like I normally do. He sort of spotted that. But yeah. It's like my mate. They tried stopping his. My mate's deaf. My mate Jay, right? He's deaf as a whatever, right? Deaf as that. And he gets PIP. I tried stopping his PIP. Told him to get a job. You know, he can't even hear anything, man. If he goes to the factory and that, he end up doing himself in. Um, that's the same thing goes with me. I've put on my forms. I don't mind doing a bit of work. Do you know what I mean? But it might get to the point where I just tell the boss to F off. I've done that plenty of times. Um, to be honest, I've got plans. I'm meeting this lady from Kent County Council. I want to do some further education. Because to be honest, sitting about just doing nothing don't interest me. To be honest with you, the joys of being hyperactive. Because you can be ADD, which is just attention deficit disorder, without the hyperactivity. But then obviously you get the ADHD. Yeah. And most people that have got one disorder have normally got two. It's called comorbid disorders. I find a lot of females that I come across very OCD-ish to me. Some girls that I know who've got like disorders and that. But yeah, when my doctor said to me, "Have you ever heard of ADHD, Phil?" And I said, "No, not really." He said, "Go home and do this test." So I did. And I started reading through the questions, and it was like light bulbs going off in my head. And to think now, like in my day, obviously you could have been the brightest crayon in the box. But if you was a bit cheeky, get to the back, you're stupid. Do you know what I mean? That's what it was like then. But these kids today, man, the kids today on the meds, the ADHD kids are actually out doing the normal kids now, which is really good to see and hear. Because an ADHD brain will learn differently than a normal child. It's like when I was on about that radio, how I worked out how to transmit on FM and all that, on the 27 megs. That's because all them other people who ain't got ADHD, who got them radios, are going about it a different way to what I am, or what I did. Anyway, bit of an ADHD rant there, but it's all good. Someone's got a rant about it, and it's going to become more and more prevalent as the years go on. A lot more people are getting diagnosed now, a lot more adults, females. I believe there's just as many females out there with it, but what it is with the girls is they mask it a lot better. Obviously, a bloke's very boisterous, and do you know what I mean? Whereas a female hide it, they cope a bit better, coping strategies. But yeah, I do an hour video one night on what to look out for in adult ADHD, and I bet you just some of you out there that probably got it. In fact, I'll put money on it that some of you watching right now, 23 of you, hello, one or two of you have got it, 100%. You might not realise you got it, or you might, but if you got it, you would have lived a very crazy life, a very colourful life. You'd have probably, well, for a fact, you'd have took a lot of wrong roads in your life. Yeah, I'll go on all night. And what cracked me up, obviously I've been in court on that for having amphetamines when I was young. Got told off, do you know what I mean? Now I'm getting it on prescription. That's what really did my head in when I worked out what they actually give you. Because he said to me, "What do you want to try then, Phil?" I said, "Well, I'll go for the amphetamines if it's all right." Because there's another drug, you see, that they use called methylphenidate. But I said, "Well, I know where I'm at with the amphets, do you know what I mean? Where I come from, the acid house parties and the illegal raves, I know what to expect." I pity them poor people that have never done any drugs in their life and they're on them. Yeah. I can still remember now my first ADHD drug, amphetamines, because the Olympics was on overnight, and I came home and I did one of these capsules, right? Within about an hour, I felt this calmness come right over my body. And it took me somewhere else, man. I'm still there now. life changing. The meds are. And the actual amphetamine, in fact, I'll do one now. The amphetamine is not like street speed or whiz or whatever you're calling it. Do you know what I mean? Where you come from, you might call it speed, you might call it fast, you might call it amphet or whatever. It's all the same. This is what the dealers are trying to make: dexamphetamine. Little pink tablets. One of them, that's 20 milligrams. That take about 10 minutes to work, and that worked for about 4 hours on me. But if you used to do it, you'd probably be up about 4 days, speeding your bollocks off, man. That's what you would be doing. But to be honest, I can fall asleep on these. First one in the morning, because I'm allowed to do 3 a day. The first one in the morning sometimes sends me back to sleep. But then my specialist said, "Does it bother you, Phil, having a lot of sleep?" I said, "No, I struggled for sleep all my life." That's another thing about ADHD with adults. You would have probably struggled to sleep and that. You'd be a bit of a nighttime person. Um, you probably would have had broken relationships as well. That's a common trait. Um, Again, most people have, haven't they, at some point? Oh, yeah, very strange. 30 years ago, I'm getting arrested for having speed. Now they're dishing it out to me on prescription, man. And I'm entitled to the cannabis as well. I'm thinking about trying that. The legal cannabis now in Britain. Legal medical cannabis. Before anyone says, has it got any THC in it? Yeah, you can get THC heavy stuff. Um, I do think it's wrong though. Only certain conditions can go for it. Obviously, I'm a big believer in weed and all that. And to be honest, it could help with so many things: period pains, headaches. Do you know what I mean? Across the board. But to get on it in Britain, you got to have a neurological brain disorder or something really heavy, and you've also got to have tried two other drugs. Um, but yeah, ADHD and ASD. That's what entitles me to it. I can also get a cannabis pass as well. Which what that is if I'm going to my mates, right? Say tomorrow I go to my mates to get an eighth, then I'll get stopped. Where I'm registered on the proper scheme, the police let you go. You don't get criminalised for it. But don't get me wrong though, guys. If you've got 16 ounces all bagged up, do you know what I mean? You're getting nicked. But still, it's a good idea. Do you know what I mean? Stop criminalising people. And I honestly believe, I'm 53 now. I was born in 1971. And I truly believe, but by the time I'm pulling my pension, I think weed will be quite freely available to anybody that wants to smoke it recreationally. That's what I think. Um, Because I can remember when a magistrate years ago, I was about 17, 18, when all sort of cannabis was shone upon. I had about a pea's worth, a bird's eye pea's worth, a solid puff, a soap bar or something. And she looked at me like I was the biggest smack dealer in the town. Do you know what I mean? And now what do? They give the kids a warning, a cannabis warning, man. We never had no warnings. Anyway, I've got to plug this phone in. Yeah, crazy, eh? And again, I think the drug laws are horrendous in this country. Um, And I'm not just saying that because I've come from that sort of party scene either. Um, in fact, I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. Um, I can remember my first ever sort of, well, they weren't called raves, they were just called parties. It was like a party. I can remember now. Old warehouses, and obviously coming from Kent, we're in the countryside. All them M25 raves that went right round London and Essex. We was all part of that. Genesis. Um, I've been to them all. Dreamscape, fucking World Dance, all of them. Rain Dance, Telepathy, all of them old raves, man. I've been to. Um, and them early ones, man. There weren't no security. You used your own security. Do you know what I mean? Um, but yeah, I've been in loads of raves where Colton Leach has sort of been on the door. Not that I really knew or cared about him anyway, to be honest with you. But then I've always got along all right at the parties. I get probably out, so I'm 6'2". You know what I mean? Fucking. But no, I've always got along up there. Really, I suppose if you go out looking for a hassle, you're going to get it, aren't you? But I just mind my own business, have a good night, and happy days. Yeah, Genesis with Wayne and the other man, cocaine coconut. I can't even say the word. Cocaine coconuts. Yep, crazy, eh? Right, where's me big Rizzlers? And I need a USB cable. Bernie, I never come across Bernard. But then again, he was at Rackhouse, wasn't he? In Essex. I've been to like the Pink Toothbrush in Essex. I think that's in Rayleigh. I've been to a few parties in Essex, but I've never been to that Rackhouse. But to be honest with you, you got like obviously Tony Tucker and all the Essex mob. But the people I used to knock about with was just as handy as them. Do you know what I mean? They weren't no firm. Do you know what I mean? They were just a few bods having it right away. There was no sort of Essex boys, as they sort of say. It was just a few fellas having it right off. But yeah, look what ended up happening to them. Bang, bang, bang. Crazy, eh? Yeah, fucking. In fact, there's probably there's quite a few dangerous criminals in Kent. When you're talking like gangster wise. But to be honest with you, the best gangsters are not all over Facebook and all that, and on YouTube. The best gangsters no one knows about. Do you know what I mean? The real gangsters move around in the shadows when nobody knows who they are. Do you know what I mean? That's the proper gangsters. All these ones on Facebook and all that. Do you know what I mean? Doing TikTok and shit. they're not real gangsters, man. Or if they are, they're pretty crap, aren't they? But yeah, you go towards Gravesend way, Mepham. Pretty dodgy people. But who else? Kenny Noy, he lived up there. All them robbers that robbed that, well, the biggest robbery ever. That was in Tunbridge, the next town to me. Um, the cage fighter bloke, what was his name? Lee Murray. He was a right hard bastard in that cage. Well, yeah, hard bastard anyway. Uh, uh, and again, I suppose, yeah, most people I know from Essex are criminals anyway. But then again, so was I. Do you know what I mean? So I made a lot of good friends in young offenders. Hollesley Bay, where the Essex boys met. Apparently, I could have been in there with Pat Tate. Someone was saying. But yeah, the Essex lads in there. That's when I first sort of got to know Essex people. But obviously, Kent and Essex, just over the water. Do you know what I mean? It's the QE2 bridge and boom. Saying that, we sound completely different. But really, Essex is just an overspill, really, of East London. A lot of it was built after the war to house the people coming home. Um, but yeah, I've been to some nice places in Essex. What's that other place? The poorest place along the coast. What's that called? In fact, everyone keeps going there doing videos. Should we go there and do a video? What's that place called, man? A little seaside place. Gets on the telly. I forget what it's called. But that's in Essex. Jaywick, that's it. Maybe we should go to Jaywick for the day one day. Do a little video. Crazy, eh? Makes me laugh when they do their YouTube vids. The most dangerous area in whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. I could tell you some right dangerous areas in London. Um, no, I say dangerous. Dangerous if you don't know about them, basically. But crazy, eh? But now London's really been taken over by all the gangs. The Albanians, the Turks. Used to be the Yardies and all that. But crazy, eh? Again, it's a different kind of villain, isn't it, today? It's not. You know what I mean? Years ago, they were real hard. A proper villain was a right hard nut. Whereas now, any pussy can be a gangster. Do you know what I mean? Any pussy can get a gun and wave that about. Um, Take the gun off them and then see how they fare. But I suppose that's the world we're living in today. And for some reason, this cable isn't charging. Just keeps going ding dong, check your cable. I know this one will. Trying to get me USB cable in. Use the wireless one charger. Tell you what, my muscles are getting bigger. I must be on the mend. Saying that, I've been doing quite a bit of exercise really lately. I can't get this plug to go in. What the hell's going on here? Look. There we go. In fact, I can remember when the security caught me in London. I went in the toilets at a rave, and this big coloured security geezer come over the top of it, just as I was getting all my stuff out. Anyway, he was gonna obviously kick me out, but I managed to strike a deal with him. I told him I've come like from Kent. I said, "How about you take what I've got in my pocket, and I'll just walk out and have a good night with my pals." You know what he did? He took my stuff off me, which is fair enough. Let me stay at the party. Um, that was crazy. Fucking. Then again, he didn't try and intimidate me or anything like that. And to be honest with you, back in the, if anybody was to have tried to intimidate me, I'd probably get myself in trouble. Do you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't put up with that. Crazy, crazy when I look back. It's like that. Who was it? Marvin, who got his face all chopped up and that by Colton Leach. That was in the club. Like that, man. I tell you what, if someone put an axe in my head, mate, that'd be the last thing they did. Crazy, eh? But again, I suppose Colton Leach and all his football pals are all good together till you get them on their own. In fact, there were a lot of wars going on there. People fucking Bernie and what's his name, Mr. Richardson. But Bernie, he's the biggest bullshitter in town, mate. Claiming he was the founding member of the Essex Boys. Like they're going to have fucking Bernie in there on it all. Crazy, eh? It's just to sell a book. That's all it was. Just sell the books. Who killed the Essex Boys? The people that got done for it. Fact. It's 100%. Because it would have leaked out by now. Do you know what I mean? I do think Darren Nichols could have probably had more to do with it though. Supergrass, which is bollocks really, man. And they tried blocking that old geezer. In fact, he's getting out in a couple of days. He might even be out now. Mick. They tried blocking him. He's about 88 with dementia and all sorts. They tried saying he was going to be a danger still. What, when you're 88 and you've got dementia? Unbelievable, isn't it? This country. It's like that. Who's that other one, man? That fucking terrorist. That Ruben, whatever he's, the little dark fella with curly hair, man. He's just attacked a prison officer in there who killed them kids. Crazy. There's my tobacco. Then you got poor Tommy Robinson. Oh, apparently Tommy's mates took the video down. Tommy could be out soon. You got poor Tommy, who's not even he's not even committed a criminal offence. It's a civil offence. They got him in Belmarsh on maximum security. Really, for that kind of offence that Tommy Robinson got done for, that's like probation at home. Do you know what I mean? It's that's what the sentence is. But obviously they're trying to prove a point or whatever. But crazy, eh? You go and read about all them Muslim gangs, the rapists and all that. It's all true, man. The grooming gangs. It's not bunches of Christians running around doing it or bunches of Catholics. Crazy, eh? Because there's that other girl that went missing. What was her name? They reckon that they chopped her up and put her in the kebabs, mate. I forget her name now. But I think that's all that Tommy was doing, was just exposing them. But I did see a post yesterday saying that Tommy's mates now took the video down, and I believe that the judge said as soon as the video's down, you can go at Tommy. But what that must be doing to his mental health, I don't know, because he ain't rough and ready. I don't think Tommy Robinson's come from a rough and ready sort of background. To be banged straight in high security like that, it's probably done his mental health no good. Crazy, eh? You got people over here doing all sorts of crimes, getting away with it. And no, I'm not a Tommy Robinson fan either. Or Yaxley Lennon was his real name or whatever. But no, I'm not really. I wouldn't say I'm a Tommy Robinson fan, but I can clearly see injustice when it's been done. If you know what I mean. It seems like the courts are more concerned about the child groomers than they are the people that are grassing the child groomers up. But again, they get it cushy, don't they? What's prison, man? Nothing really. Really, them child kiddie touchers and that, really, they should be used as target practice, to be honest with you. But yeah, you have a look. All these nutters that kill again have all been let out. It's like that one that chopped Lee Rigby's head off, the young squaddy. That dark fella that was on the telly with a knife. Crazy, eh? Yet the government should sweep over that. Lee Rigby, who was he? He was a poor little drummer lad. Crazy, eh? That's why it's really crazy in London nowadays. I mean, you don't know whether you're going to get run down or whatever, but to be honest with you, I'm always pretty alert up there. But then coming from Kent, it's fairly laid back here. I can't say I'd think twice about. I wouldn't even think twice about taking out anybody that, any religious nutter that was trying to take me out. I think I'd take them out. I think that's the way you've got to operate with them. I think what they did was just drove straight along London Bridge, straight into the people. And there was the other one with the knives, who was cutting people up everywhere. And there was that the Millwall supporter, like, he got stabbed and then he turned round to the knifeman and went, "Who the fuck are you? I'm Millwall." And he started fighting him, but he never got even a look in it, really. He should have been given a medal, mate. He's actually having a go. But then again, I think if somebody came up and stabbed you, you'd be looking at stabbing them back, wouldn't you? Or I certainly would. Anyway, we best change the subject before we get you're talking about Muslims warning. No, I talk about Muslims, I talk about Christians, but I talk facts. I'm not here sitting here slating every Muslim, am I? Just the radical ones. Religion, eh? What a load of bollocks. The biggest load of bullshit ever, religion. Purely invented to control the people. Same as marriage. Invented to control the woman. I'm sorry to all my religious friends out there. What do I believe in? The Big Bang. If you want to call the Big Bang God, then fair be it. But there's no superhuman being out there. Do you know what I mean? Yet so many people still believe in it. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Yet look at all the pain and death it's caused. Who's got the best imaginary friend? Do you know what I mean? That's what it is, really. There's no super being out there called God. Do you know what I mean? Or if there is, he's a very sick man. Crazy. Getting a bit religious now, aren't we? But saying that, I am Church of England. That's what's on my birth certificate. Church of England, started by Henry VIII. That's what I am. And he started that because he obviously had a lot of wives, Henry did. And obviously under a Catholic regime, he couldn't have all the wives that he wanted. So he thought he invented Church of England. So that's how that was born. What a man, eh? Henry VIII. It was Henry VIII that started Ireland. Do you know that? I say started Ireland. He told people, "Oh, you ought to settle there." That's when England had a proper English king instead of these Germans we've got now. Obviously, the Queen and all that. They haven't got English bloodlines.
Frequency mode.
I do like churches though, Catholic ones and Church of England ones, Christian churches, different Orthodox churches. I like the actual history of the places. Um,
Frequency mode.
we could always go to the mosque.
Channel mode.
Mosques, eh? Tear them all down, that's what I say. Because England is a Christian country. Really. And a Catholic country. We've always had Catholic churches, and we've always had Church of England churches. It's only in recent times that you're getting these mosques everywhere, which have already been proven to be like have terror cells in them. Anyway, I'm going to go and charge my phone up, guys, and then I'll be back. Otherwise, we'd all be going crazy, going on a religious one. And we don't want to upset our Muslim brothers out there, do we? Not that I'm slating all of you people. I'm just slating the crazy ones, the fanatics. I know Muslim people, fellas, that real family sort of people. The thing that makes you laugh, though, when you look at it really, is it's all made up, isn't it? It's all just bullshit. All them suicide bombers that think they're going off to 1,000 virgins and things like that. That's what they believe. It's crazy. What's the word I'm looking for that? There's a word for that. I can't think what it is. Oh, the martyrs, that's it, who martyr themselves. Anyway, I'll see you all after church.